I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. And I've started to focus out beyond the edge of the board. At a bigger game.
You know what people don't want to look at? The chess game in Twin Peaks. So let's look at the chess game in Twin Peaks. So first move is going to happen in episode 13. Gordon Cole is going to deliver to Cooper
an anonymous letter sent to home base with your name on it. Looks kind of familiar, doesn't it?
It's a chess deal.
Which is a pawn to king 4. If you're watching the show, you're going to actually get Earle's second move before we're going to see what Cooper's opening move was. And that's part of the psychological warfare that Earle is putting Cooper through. He's letting him know that I've already predicted what move you're going to make. You are so consistent. Your foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, Dale. So we're going to have to do this. Episode order is going to be a little bit differently. So we're going to see Cooper's opening move in episode 19. Some call it the Black Widow. Some get mad if you call it the Black Widow. I'm going to use both titles.
My opening move responding to Wyndham Earle's opening move was printed in the personal columns per my instructions. But I've already received his response to this yesterday.
Here's our first major problem. So in the scene, Cooper is holding a newspaper. He talks to Diane. He says, Diane, I'm holding in my hand a nationally syndicated newspaper in which I've printed my response to Earle's opening move. And what's printed in the newspaper is pawn to queen 4, which would be this. This doesn't work and this doesn't make any sense. So what you're seeing on the paper, it says Earle, pawn to queen 4. Now that's going to be Earle's second move. So I think it's just a production mistake and that it should have been this. So we're going to have to change the show to make the rest of the game work. So some people may say, oh no, it's just Earle's move that's printed in there. But it doesn't make any sense with the dialogue and the fact that we've already seen Earle's already handwritten his move. Cooper gets that letter in episode 18, Masked Ball. So now Cooper's got to do his next move. Cooper's move 2 happens off screen, so we don't see what it is, but we can guess what it is based on sort of how the board is positioned. By the way, you can't go to all the board positions. Sometimes the pieces are all scattered all over the place. Doesn't make any sense. Nobody's really paying attention to this thing, apparently, but me. But it's fun, right? It's fun to fixate on these sort of minor details. But anyway, so Cooper's move. So Cooper's playing it safe, right? He's matching Earle's opening move with a similar move. Now he's moving his knight to protect his own pawn in case that pawn is taken. But it's also, you can see Cooper as the knight, as the protector. I know in the Diane Keaton one, there's a transition from a black knight to Cooper's face.
Coop, take a look at this.
The idea of Cooper as the protector. So that is Cooper's response. Now in episode 20, there is one shot where we know Cooper has moved because he's asking Lucy, hey, did Earle respond yet?
Any luck?
I checked the personals columns in every national newspaper on the list, and I didn't see anything that looked like a chess deal or find any mention of the name Wyndham Earle.
So while we don't see Cooper's move, we certainly know it's been made, and he's waiting for Earle's response. And Earle's response comes in that same episode, episode 20, Checkmate, in which his pawn takes our first victim, R.I.P. Eric Powell. So now that things have gotten serious and Cooper knows that people are dying when pieces are dying, he's going to enlist some help. And that help's going to come by way of Pete Martell. If you were playing this game and you lost a pawn, you would certainly exchange a pawn for a pawn and perhaps move your knight up and take that. But he doesn't, because again, Earle's playing this game, and it doesn't mean that people aren't going to die, even if it's Earle's own pieces.
So whenever he takes a piece from a board,
Someone dies.
Cooper's philosophy is we're going to play this game and not lose any pieces, my own or my opponent's. Pete's move comes up in episode 23, Condemned Woman, in which he advances his pawn here.
That's it.
Guaranteed to cause some sleepless nights.
Earl's furious at this point because he knows someone else is playing and he's going for a stalemate game. So he moves over his kingside knight to the bishop 3. Earl's move happens in episode 24, Wounds and Scars. He sends a chess piece to the Haywards.
Knight to king's bishop 3.
Inside the box is actually a black knight and not a white knight, which to me is a dig at Cooper. If Cooper is to represent the black knight, at least at this point, he's clearly the king, but at this point, you could say that. I feel that is Earle mocking, even further mocking Cooper. Pete Martell now is having a hard time figuring out how to play this game without losing just even a few pieces. So in episode 25, we're told that Pete has made this move right before they're going to go spelunking.
Pete just called in our next move.
We expose a pawn to his bishop.
Want me to hold off?
No, Pete knows what he's doing.
They mention, hey, we're exposing this pawn to White's bishop that could come over and take it, but they're going to dismiss this because who would play such a bad game? He's going to lose his bishop to this rook. So, but haven't you learned anything about Earle at this point? And that's what happens. So in episode 26, Variations on Relations, or Variations and Revelations, if you're watching it on Paramount, we're going to lose our second victim. Our second pawn is going to die. R.I.P. Rusty. I hope one day you find beer. Also played by Ted Raimi, brother of Sam Raimi, if you're following along at home. So that's it. This is the end of the game. There's no more moves after this. And if you weren't sure, in episode 27, Path to the Black Lodge, Earle literally knocks the board away and your dreams are gone, and all of this effort put into this game is just swept under the rug like a puzzle box sent to you from Thomas Eckert. But it's fun. It's fun to sort of play through these things. And I love the idea of them playing chess. I just think it was a cool story bit. I wish it had gone on a little bit more. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed recreating the chess game in Twin Peaks.